Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Bill.
How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm real good. It's a school day.
It is a school day. That's right. It's
Mhm.
Wednesday. How was yesterday?
Good. I got a ton of the stuff done for my week yesterday. I just got on a roll and knocked out a lot. So that's a nice weight off my shoulders going into a school day. What about you?
For sure. Um, Yesterday was okay. I kind of found myself when I was journaling last night, kind of feeling like I didn't do enough. Which I think is as much a product of just like having too many to dos as it is anything else, right? I was done at 4:30. I had two meetings kind of no show on me yesterday. One of them texted me later on and apologized profusely. They're the head of like Scrum at Toyota, so I'm like, well, okay, sure. I can see you're going to get pulled into some meetings. So we'll get that rescheduled. So it's weird because whenever I have a lot of stuff on the calendar, if some of those things don't fit, then it's easy to feel at the end of the day of like, man, today was a waste or something like that. And I didn't really feel like that because I've got the other systems in place. So that way, if I have a no-show or somebody goes to me or something like this, I can just get in there and get to work and be productive. But still having two in an afternoon was kind of a lot. So I think that contributes. We're trying to get a lander page built and adjust sales practice lab, the courses, moving fast and furiously. And just this morning, I figured out the angle for the real estate mastermind group, which I'm excited about. So
awesome. That's awesome. I'm excited to hear about the angle too. We'll probably do that off air sometime.
Absolutely.
That's very cool. I was just talking about Jeremy yesterday.
Jeremy Pope, Chief Couch Potato, or I'm sorry, Chief Potato Officer is his title.
Okay. That's awesome. Cool. There was something in there I had a question about.
Tasks, to-dos. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, Michelle.
Anything like that?
Not real estate, not sales lab before that.
Course. Uh-oh. And you have the most rambunctious sneezes I think I've ever seen.
Wow. Okay, yeah. They're up there for sure. They make a mark. They don't just like creep in there and whisper in your ear. That's for sure.
True. That's true.
Course. No one course. It'll come back to me. That's all right.
Okay.
I was about something, but
so that was interesting. We had some math struggles for the kiddo yesterday, so that kind of, I don't do most of the schooling. Math is something that's like uniquely difficult for Alice and for Melissa because Melissa's just really good at it, and so she doesn't understand why you wouldn't be good at it. This just makes sense, right? It's kind of one of those like situations. So I helped out with some math for a little bit, and then that was kind of it. We started a new show called Kim's Convenience, which is on the same channel as Schitt's Creek. So we wanted to try it. We've heard good things, and so far it's really good.
I've seen that preview a few times, and I'm like, that could be funny. But
I mean, it's the first 3 episodes have been really, really interesting.
That's cool. Well, I finished The Queen's Gambit, and
so good,
bro.
Everybody I've talked to has said that it's amazing. I can't wait to dig into it.
Oh no, I mean it's still like waving over me. Like it's that good.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and it's concluded. Like they finished the thing, but it's so well written. It's like good story, man. It's just when you can write a good nuanced story. Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Love it.
And this is not a big deal to anybody else, like at all. But I learned a new way to shape my mustache yesterday, which
I care
has been well. So the beard thing is new, obviously. For people who don't know, I spent like every day of like 39 years kind of making jokes and cracks about how I could never grow a beard, and then I could, and then the world didn't end.
Then 2020 happened, and lots of things changed in the world.
Exactly. And so so I've never done any of this before, and so some of it has been this kind of unique like way of like trying to figure it out. And being 40 and having figured out lots of things on myself, I was trying to. I was making it a lot harder than I needed to be, and then I did what everybody else did and just went to YouTube and saw some YouTube videos of like how to like manage your Rona beard and everything else. And now I feel so fresh and so clean. So
nice. I'm glad you said it that way too.
Well, last week or the week before was the 20-year anniversary of Stankonia coming out, which is where that song comes from, and is one of the best party. Yeah, 20 years. Isn't that crazy?
Is Andre 3000 weeping somewhere?
No, he's essentially just he walks around and people see him, and he's got this kind of like very interesting flute. And so he just like walks around LA and Miami and different cities with his flute, and people see him. And then there's like these like very random Andre 3000 sightings, and he's always got this huge like long kind of double-barreled flute that he's playing.
That's an interesting pair there. That's I think there was a Key and Peele bit. Did you see the Key and Peele? I think it's Key and Peele. They did a bit on yeah, I can't imagine who else it would be. Yeah, check YouTube for that. You'll appreciate it. Because one of them was like crazy, and then the other one was kind of just a little bit crazy, but like considered the same one next to I can't forget which is which, but anyway, it's really funny.
So you have school all day today. Do you have any lunch calls planned?
I don't.
How crazy is it that like we have to ask that question? Hey, you're gonna go spend all day at school. Do you have any calls planned for when you're not fully engaged in the schoolwork?
Like I said, I only give it away when people ask. I don't offer it up.
Okay.
So it's no, it's the standard.
Okay. I am putting on a clinic in my coach's group coaching class about how to use LinkedIn to generate lists, how to prospect, how to do all of this stuff on LinkedIn, because once again, I have to remind myself, just because like there's lots of people who don't know how to do this stuff, so there's value in showing it to them. So I'm going to be putting on like hey, here's how I get referrals, here's how I prospect, here's how I look for people on LinkedIn today. So that'll be good.
Well, looky here, what I seriously have pulled up. Look at that for a reread.
I was going
through my PDFs and just kind of doing a declutter, a sort, because I'm reading a book now called Digital Minimalism, and it's how to live with the least amount of technology and get the most out of that time. And I was like, I need to go back through my LinkedIn habits, and what else would I do when I'm refreshing? And go through my boy Bill's own referral system there. So
man, that's huge. And thank you, because I consider you to be further down the LinkedIn path than I am. So
but I mean, everyone's got a trick or a process or something that you don't use. That's fair. And we talk about this, right? It doesn't matter where you are in a process. Somebody else has something to teach you.
Yeah.
And it might be a lot. You just don't know.
Well, it was funny because sometimes I see these things on Facebook and it's like, who wants to see the exact sales script I use to close X amount of dollars, right? And I commented on one of them, and I was like, I would love to see it. And then somebody messaged me, they're like, hey, why are you creeping on somebody else's like sales script? And I was like, I'm not creeping on anything, right? If they have one and it's good and they've generated all this stuff, I can probably learn something from it, right?
Well,
like. Yeah. How crazy is it to assume that I can't learn from like somebody else's stuff that they have hopefully used and it's actually worked? I mean, that's like the height of pompousness.
It is. It's a little close-minded, especially if you are in technology in any way, shape, or form.
This stuff it's crazy because there for a while I'd taken kind of like a break from online poker. When I came back to it, like so much of it had changed about like what was normal and what wasn't and how people were playing and stuff like this. And so you kind of had to make some adjustments. Same thing happens with all of this stuff, right? Selling and marketing and DMing and, generating leads and everything. Like there's always a newer way to like, I would say that probably like 5 years ago, nobody was really super concerned about like testimonials. they were nice to have, but like you didn't have to have them. And now it's like, look, if you're gonna get good traction on an offer, you have to have testimonials and feedback and case studies and stuff like this, because it's what everybody else has. So just by the sheer fact that they have more content and more results that they can show than you are, it's just making the decision easier. So
right. Yeah. Well, and like when you wrote this, like for those of you that don't know, LinkedIn has stories now, just like Instagram and Facebook. That didn't exist.
Did not exist. So I was waiting for that to show up on my desktop, the stories and stuff like this, because, you know, you have access to stories on Facebook, right? So this whole time I was like, man, why the hell don't I have these stories? You know? Wait,
yeah,
what?
Well, desktop stories on Facebook is even new. So I bet it'll take LinkedIn a year and a half before that happens.
Yeah, probably. And so I was like, okay, so this is weird. I guess it's happening in waves, because like I don't really use the LinkedIn app like at all. Like, I mean, maybe for posting in video, but you know, like most of my stuff is DMs and messages and like actual prospecting and looking and stuff. And the app doesn't really lend itself to that. So I hadn't been on the app in so long on my phone that like I had no credentials saved for the app on my phone. I was like, man, this is crazy.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I actually really use the app for is in-person networking. Because I connect with people in person on my LinkedIn app, like while we're standing there when possible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's super helpful because they've got like the QR code or like the different ways, the links and different things like that you can do. But then also, this is a tip actually I kind of picked up from, once again, I picked this up from somebody else last year at a networking event, is if there's someone there that I really click with, I will step off to the side at the event and leave an audio message for that person on LinkedIn on the app, because you know there's an audio button you can just hold down and talk to them on the app. And so you can send an audio message, and so I'll say, "Hey, really enjoyed our conversation about X. Hopefully, there's some more we can do in the future on that. Let's find a great time. Let's find time to connect. Or hey, glad we connected. Glad we're going to meet up next week. Just wanted to let you know that I really appreciated what you said, and looking forward to talking to you more. You know, like something like that.
Yeah.
No one uses that, so when you get an old audio clip in LinkedIn, you're like, whoa, it does this? And it's like personalized.
Mm-hmm.
It's a game changer. It's a game changer. I've gotten meetings that I probably shouldn't have gotten because of those follow-ups. I think. Now, I can't prove that, but like I looked different than other people. Like I've gone and seen speakers and shook their hand and asked them a really specific question. And then afterwards connected on LinkedIn and put an audio clip in that says, hey, thanks for your answer on this. I also found this. Have you ever thought about blah, 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 blah. Just kind of try to keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
I've gotten responses and connections that way, and both podcast guests and things like that. So
I got a new connection on Facebook, and the very first thing, right? You know, the messenger kind of lights up, and I'm like, oh great, you know, here it is. Yep. And then I go check it, and it was just like a video of the guy sitting at his desk, and he was like, hey man, I'm just sending you a quick video. Super happy to be connected. I find that most of these messages are like spammed or like automated. So thought I'd send you a video so that way you can kind of get a feel for who I am and know that like this is not an automation. I'm super happy to be connected with you, John.
Yep.
And I was like, oh shit, that got me, right? And so whatever that dude, like, hey man, you want to hop on a Zoom call? I was like, yeah, let's hop on a Zoom call.
Yeah,
you know?
Especially if you got your DM game on after that.
Yeah.
Game on.
Absolutely. Yeah. It doesn't have to be ramped up to 11 for it to be like successful, right? No. And I think that's like the danger of all of this software stuff, right? Is that it's like, oh, it worked twice. Let's ramp it up to 1,000. You know.
There's one yesterday. I should have tagged you in it because I know you'd appreciate this. Alan Gannett, you know Alan, Creative Circle. He wrote that book. It's a really good book. I need to lend you that book too, then, because he wrote this like a scientific book. So this guy has started a couple companies, and I connected with him on LinkedIn a couple of years ago, early. And anyway, he interviews other tech entrepreneurs, but he's a successful tech entrepreneur himself. And there's something called Sales Loft, like LOFT. Do you know about Sales Loft?
Yeah.
Okay, so he interviewed the owner, And he said that I guess there's a specific set of packages you can get. Maybe there's 3 different levels of things you can do. And what happens is this guy, the owner, it's either the top 2 or all 3. I can't remember because I was reading. I wasn't actually like listening to the video. I was reading the subtitles. When someone signs up to become a customer, they have all these Zapier connections that happen that send messages to the owner, him. He gets it, and he has a connection that sends an email to the rep, not the person that bought, that says, "Hey, I'm so excited. So-and-so just signed up. Can you put something on my calendar so I can get to know them and their business better and thank them for joining us?" Then the rep gets something in their CRM, and they forward that onto the person. So it looks like the owner sent an email to the rep saying, "Hey,
wow.
so-and-so just signed up. When we book a call?" They send them a Zoom link and say, "Are you available right now to talk with the owner?" Right after they bought it, within like 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, as fast as all the zaps go. He'd love to chat with you about your purchase and how we can support you better. And he literally will be available. And he said there's a 50% take rate on those Zoom calls right now. And
he's 50%.
So he has a Zoom table. So he slides over to his Zoom table, and literally right after you bought, you can talk to the owner about to the questions. And that's just the top layer. He has all these zaps after that of finds out there. He tags their cities, he tags their industry, he does all these things. And when he travels and speaks, when he comes into the city, his VA or like they have zaps. Will send them a mini message that says, "Hey, so-and-so's in town, would love to meet you in person because he just really values the fact that you're still a customer. He's in town this date. Are you available?" Wow. Dude, he has got the whole thing on Zaps and like pre-done stuff. And so I'm actually, I got a message out to Alan. It's like, "Hey, Alan, can I talk to you more about this guy's process and maybe get just an introduction?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, no problem, man. I'll set it up for you, whatever." But I'm thinking maybe we can get him on the show here.
That would be legit. Like the wheels are turning.
We've only scratched the surface of what we can do with customer service. I think a lot of people are spending a lot of time on the sales and marketing side using Zaps and CRMs and tags and automations. But on the customer service side, there's people out there doing stuff like that just, it blew my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot that people do to kind of game the whole, of course you're going to stay with us. You still want this thing, right? But I like good customer service just for the sake of like good customer service, right? Yeah. I mean, tight, solid onboarding is important, right? It's like how you make your mark on the customer. It's how you begin the relationship. And if that's loose and all over the place and like inconsistent, you're going to have loose, inconsistent clients. So I have much respect for the fact that this guy seems like he's really trying to like build a relationship and do it the right way. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and I forget what he said, but basically he thinks that client retention is like him being super on top of that is increases his referrals rate.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So he said it's one of his highest and most important tasks each and every day because it grows his business just by doing those activities. Because he was asking, "Isn't that like a lot to take on?" I was like, the owner, like the founder. He says, like, it's one of the best things I can do to grow my company. Why wouldn't I do it?
Yeah,
it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
Hey, Ann.
Hello, morning. Ann. Good morning, Ann.
And bye.
Yeah, because I was going to say Jake has to go because he has school. What was his name, Jake, the person you're talking about?
I can't remember, but he's the CEO of Sales Loft.
CEO of Sales Loft, that's right.
Mm-hmm. And I'll actually get the video and get that put somewhere so you guys can watch it too.
Cool. So I have the LinkedIn thing this morning. I've got a group. I got to meet up with the rest of the mastermind guys because I've got a new angle for that. So we're going to discuss that. I have a coaching call with Mike, coaching call with Forrest, and then I have a digital like networking coffee with a new connection who we got connected in the Pipe Drive experts group on Facebook, and he's becoming a CRM consultant. And he was like, man, I would love to talk to you and like take all the work that you don't want to work on anymore. And I was like, not a whole lot of that, but would be happy to talk to you about, like what's going on. So
Cool.
but yeah, and we'll be done at 4:15 to 4:30. So for sure.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Awesome.
Well, let's go get it, huh?
Absolutely. Thursday, tomorrow, we got to make it happen.
That's right.
Absolutely. All right, Bill. Thank you, Michelle.
Right. I forgot. Today's Happy Vets Day. Happy Veterans Day, John. To those that don't know, he served.
That is true.
Yep.
Thank you very much. I've got all the head trash around it, so we'll just like leave all that right there. But I do appreciate it. Lots of other people gave a lot more, and in my opinion, those are people who need or who deserve, the thank you. So,
and I'll counter with everyone does that makes the choice. Doesn't matter how much service goes in. You made the choice to start with, so you're worth it. This
is tried and true between you and me, Bill.
It is because you deserve it.
Thank you.
Have you seen? By the way, I'll throw that in. Have you seen Snowpiercer?
No, not yet.
Like the movie with Chris? Oh, okay.
I know of the movie, but I've not seen it yet.
Okay. There's a very similar head trashy connection there about him not giving an arm. So if you ever watch it, you'll know what I mean. And you'll go,
okay, cool. Yeah. It's been on the list for a while. So,
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome. All right, Bill. Have a great day at school. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Michelle. We had some other people here as well, but not everybody commented. So thanks for tuning in with us and starting your day with us. Accountability makes it all happen. So find someone who can help you hold accountable, or come in here, share your goals. We can help you hold you accountable to that stuff. And we'll see everybody tomorrow.
All right. Bye.
Cheers.